10 hilarious Damon quotes that prove he is the funniest character. This is the second video about the Vampire Diaries series. Get a drink, relax and let's go. Let's see if you can remember the quotes and scenes. If you like the video, then please leave a comment so that we can make more videos like this. Don't forget to show us your support and subscribe to our channel. Damon was undoubtedly the funniest character on the Vampire Diaries, or was he? The quotes here were said by Damon, and it is up to you to decide if he is funnier than Klaus. The Klaus video link will appear at the end screen, and you should watch this video as well. Even though the Vampire Diaries final episode aired more than 5 years ago, its fan base is still expanding, and there are even speculations regarding a fourth spin-off. The charming and well-written characters in the franchise's first entry, especially Damon Salvatore, are largely responsible for its success. Without Damon's contribution, the show's snide quips and scathing replies would not have been nearly as funny or exciting as its love triangles and supernatural intrigue. With his spot-on nicknames and snarky sense of humor, he was constantly offering some much-needed comedic relief. Several quotes from the Vampire Diaries make it very evident that he was the show's funniest character. You do realize you are dating a reformed serial killer, right? Season 5, Episode 2, True Lies. Damon was a fascinating character in part because he never attempted to be someone he wasn't and was very self-aware of his weaknesses. He frequently makes light fun of other people, especially those he loves the most, but he is also not hesitant to make jokes about himself. He instantly reminded Elena of his background and referred to himself as a reformed serial killer, which was ironic to say the least, when she urged him to cease recommending various means of torture to deal with her college professor. When I kill someone, they're supposed to stay dead. Season 3, Episode 7, Ghost World. Characters magically reviving or returning to Mystic Falls as ghosts are one of the most common motifs in the Vampire Diaries series. And it's safe to assume that Damon wouldn't be too pleased if people started to rise from the dead, given that he is one of the Vampire Diaries characters with the greatest kill total. This phrase was spoken after one of his many victims, Mason Lockwood's ghost, reappeared to get revenge, and Damon's reaction was priceless. As he expressed his frustration to Bonnie and Caroline, onlookers couldn't help but giggle. What's so special about this belly girl? Edward Swift. Season 1, Episode 4, Family Ties. In spite of their numerous parallels, the Vampire Diaries and Twilight have extremely different perspectives on the paranormal, particularly when it comes to vampires. While waiting for Caroline to get ready in this episode, Damon was casually reading the first Twilight novel and couldn't help but comment on the other vampires' behavior. In addition to the obvious irony of a vampire reviewing a book about vampires, this quote is amusing since it exactly sums up Damon's feelings for Elena in later seasons. Dear Diary, a chipmunk asked my name today. I told him it was Joe. That lie will haunt me forever. Season 3, Episode 16, 1912. Due to their highly distinct personalities, the Salvatore brothers disagreed on a lot of issues throughout the course of the episode. Damon enjoyed making fun of his brother's insistence on exclusively consuming animal blood as opposed to human blood, and Stefan's dark personality and peculiar vampire diet offered plenty of fodder. In this episode, Damon comes across Stefan while he is attempting to put his thoughts on paper and is lost in thought. Damon jumped in with a melodramatic conjecture as to what was going through Stefan's mind. Most people would take that as a hint. Season 1, Episode 19, Miss Mystic Falls. After John tells him, "You haven't returned any of my calls," Damon says this. Nobody particularly liked John Gilbert because, more often than not, his presence brought difficulty for everyone else. The Salvatores and John, however, frequently acted as unlikely friends as they banded together for their shared goal of defending Elena. However, that in no way implied that they had to act civilly toward one another. When John confronted him about not returning his calls, Damon was eager to express how he was not willing to work with him. Sometimes the best jokes are just outright statements of fact. So, what do you think about Damon? Here are some videos from the 10 Quotes channel you should watch next. Definitely check them out as well. The links for these videos are listed in the description below. Hey Steph, remember when you killed Dad? Season 3, Episode 13, Bringing Out the Dead. No one is qualified to pass judgment on anyone because almost every character in the Vampire Diaries has committed heinous sins throughout the course of the series. Therefore, it was hardly the appropriate time for the Michaelsons and Salvatores to compare awful actions and consider which of them has moral superiority when they came together to negotiate a contract. Damon was quick to join in and nonchalantly remind him that he had done the same thing when he killed their father, and his tone was funny when Stefan made a quip about Klaus killing his own mother. You're dead, dude. Get over it. Season 1, Episode 4, Family Ties. Damon is highly recognized for his humor and sarcasm since he consistently says the funniest lines and makes extremely meme-worthy statements. Damon was happier with being a vampire than his brother Stefan was, and he relished his immortality. This was particularly evident in the first season when Damon was living vicariously via Stefan and making use of all the benefits of being a vampire without feeling guilty. Stefan once said that he wanted to resume living his life, but in a humorous discussion, Damon didn't think twice to point out that he's already officially dead. Tried to kill a werewolf. Failed. Now I feel like I'm not living up to my best self. Season 2, Episode 4, Memory Lane. The Salvatores were reluctant to accept werewolves into their community when they learned of their presence. But the Lockwoods turned into an issue when they discovered that vampires might die from their bite. Damon always takes pride in his ability to complete tasks because, in contrast to the other members of the Mystic Falls gang, he was not hesitant to play the villain. Damon was always the first to volunteer for any duty that required doing something unethical. As this humorous line illustrates, he was therefore extremely disappointed in himself when he was unable to kill Mason Lockwood. If I hear the word doppelganger one more time, I think I'm actually gonna have to learn how to spell it. Season 5, Episode 1, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Doppelgangers were famously introduced in the Vampire Diaries in such a way that they quickly became a crucial component of numerous plot arcs. Although Elena and Catherine were the first doppelgangers on the show, there would be many more in the future. When Silas finally exposed his actual face as Stefan's double, the 5th season included a second doppelganger line in addition to the Petrova one. Damon couldn't help but convey his confusion about the fact that he knew multiple people who shared exactly the same appearance in the funniest way possible. There's no such thing as bad ideas, only poorly executed awesome ones. Season 2, Episode 15, The Dinner Party. Elijah encountered a great deal of mistrust from Mystic Falls' supernatural inhabitants, who found a means to get rid of him right away. Damon came up with a complex and perhaps dangerous scheme to trick and kill the original, but Alaric was more dubious and kept pushing him not to carry it through. Even though Damon was typically the most capable when it came to overcoming obstacles and accomplishing goals, his plans weren't always flawless. There were numerous occasions when he messed up or made a poor choice that worsened the issue, but he never shied away from defending his plan-making abilities with a witty one-liner that demonstrates why he is TVD's funniest character. Who in the series is your favorite character? Leave a comment. Have you seen a video about Klaus already? If not, then click here. More videos about your favorite TV series are coming soon. Subscribe to see more.